It's the end of October, and we're here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, and that could mean only one thing. It's SEMA time. Without question, this is my favorite event of the year. It's like being a kid in a candy store where you get to see all the latest and the greatest stuff, products, parts, and accessories, all made for just about anything with an engine and a set of wheels. And it's also where you get to see all kinds of crazy, over-the-top builds. Builds kind of like this. Of course, when it comes to SEMA, or at least the featured vehicles outside, big and blingy is the name of the game. With that said, I'm going to try my hardest to identify and locate as many practical builds as possible and point out the products on them. And the first Jeep that I came across was this one with a big sticker on the windshield from Diode Dynamics. So I'm going to assume that's whose Jeep is here. But what really interested me was the armor, the bumpers on it, specifically the rear bumper. It's been a while since I've seen a JT Gladiator with a rear bumper tire carrier, and this one made by what looks like Expedition 1 looks stout. I mean, look at the hinge on this thing, the massive build on it. It comes with really solid corner protection, and it's clearly carrying at least 37-inch tire, but it looks like it could hold up to more. And this latching mechanism is super impressive. I'm hoping I can see them on the inside so that they can give me a demonstration on how all this works, but so far, I'm pretty impressed. Some of the neat details on it has also got some rear lights, amber lights, so dust lights would be great to have. Coming around, looks like the fenders are metal fenders from Iron Cross most likely. Rocker guards or side steps, or maybe a combination of both. Looks like Expedition 1. Front bumper is a nice stubby bumper with some integrated fog lights. This also looks like it's from Expedition 1. And then you've got these light brackets on here, and I'm assuming all the lights are from Diode Dynamics. The other thing that caught my eye was this cool bed rack system. It says it's made by Front Runner. I'm not entirely sure how it's actually installed, but it looks like it's got really nice MOLLE integrated panels to secure all your gear, including a propane tank, some Pelican cases, fire extinguisher, and more. As mentioned earlier, this rig is running a set of 37-inch tires, and specifically in a Toyo RT. And on a final note, I'm seeing these things everywhere. These are a set of Apex Auto Links. So this next Jeep I'm stopping at mainly because, again, it looks practical. It's a white rig like ours, and it features a lot of products that seem usable, not just all blingy. And maybe more specifically, I noticed that the racks on it, the roof rack and bed rack, are made by RackTech, which is local to us in northern Nevada. You can see up here is the RackTech roof rack. with rigid lights integrated into it. And then the bed rack, which has extra features including a water can, fire extinguisher, rigid lights, rooftop tent, speaker system, and other gear inside as well. Looks like the rocker guards are made by Evo. This is of course running 40-inch Arturo Trailblade Boss tires and a Rage 4th front bumper with a Warn winch on top of it. Underneath you can see that it's got an RPM steering system, really stout and really awesome, especially if you're running something as big as a Curry Rock Jock 60, and suspension or at least dampening provided by Fox. Up on top of the hood you can see that it's got an S&B intake system. We actually saw this here at SEMA a couple years ago, and it's nice to see that they're actually producing it now. Also, there's a rigid light bar on top of the hood. So this awesome CJ5 is a build that I had to stop at. It is gorgeous. This kind of candy apple red, maybe almost darker than that. But what really interested me on this is the story behind it. Apparently it was built by a guy named Kevin Harlow, and he started this project maybe 11 years ago but had to put it on hold due to the premature birth of his daughter, and it's taken him 6 years after that to actually bring it to where it is, and he did most all the work himself in his own garage and without having to cut into any family time, literally working well into the night. And this thing is going to be one of the contestants in the Battle of the Builds, and it's going to be shown on the History Channel. In addition to running a set of 40-inch tires, which are enormous for a CJ5, the one thing that really draws the eye is the fact that it's been stretched. Unfortunately, I don't even know all the details on it, but it is significant. There's clearly a set of 4 seats in here, plus a trunk. And it's riding on leaf springs up front, coils in the rear, all kinds of custom sway bar systems up front and rear. The details on this are amazing. The interior is super nice too. Now this is kind of what I expect to see at SEMA, especially on the outside. Over the top bling, and in this case, super sparkly bedline on everything on this Jeep. And when I mean everything, including the fenders, the Jeep logo, the bumpers, the roof rack, the bed rack, and get this, even the Max Tracks. Alright, enough with the JTs, time to get into some JL Wranglers. And here you can see there's a couple brought to us by Attica 4x4. This first one is in gray, and as you can see they manufacture bumpers, tube fenders, rocker guards or side steps, and it looks like they even make a rear bumper. So this Jeep is suspended on a Terraflex suspension system, is running a set of 371350 Gladiator X-Comp MTs mounted on what look like Black Rhino true beadlock wheels. And up front you can see that we've got RPM steering that seems to be really popular here at the show, Curry anti-rocks, Falcon shocks, and up on top of the hood we've even got light mounts that are attached to the cowl. On this yellow Jeep, you can see that it also has a set of metal fenders, tube fenders, and more angular in design than the gray one, something more like what you'd see on Metal Cloak. And up front, it has a stubby front bumper that's kind of similar to what we have on our Jeeps, which is an Evo quarter pounder. Underneath, again, RPM steering is the steering system here at SEMA at 2022. But this one is secured to a Dana UD60. On both fenders, on the gray and this yellow one, you can see they've got these integrated marker lights on the sides. And I'm gonna guess that these side steps or these rocker guards are made by Attica 4x4 as well. Coming around back, they've got this rear bumper, this kind of stubby rear bumper that kind of reminds me of what Rusty's Off-Road makes, and I'm going to guess that these corner guards are by them as well. Riding on a set of 40-inch Cooper STT Pros mounted on a set of KMC Machetes. This Jeep is actually suspended on an Evo long arm kit, and it looks like it's running a set of Falcon shocks. Do you remember what I was saying about SEMA being all about big and blingy? May I present to you this Jeep. So, if you've been enjoying our pre-show coverage here at SEMA 2022, may I encourage you to visit WAYALIFE.com, where I've got a ton more photos of everything that you've seen so far and more, and you can participate in discussions of everything that you've seen. Also, coming this Tuesday on our day one coverage, you'll get to see our Jeep JT Gladiator with the few modifications that were made to it over at Evo. So be sure to check back then.